Good morning, everybody. Today I am sharing an update on our mass feeding of the hot frog living composter. I have my notes here that say a little over, pretty much a week and a half ago, they were fed about, I don't know, a half-ish to 3/4 of a full bag of a gallon baggie in the middle. And then a couple days ago, I checked on them. Didn't add any food scraps, but did add some of my new shredded cardboard, paper, whatever I have in here. So I'm curious to see if that helped even out our moisture levels. Let's take a look. Just really quick, having popped off the top here, I noticed there's a few guys hanging out on here, which is kind of good, but I'm also like, what you doing up here, guys? Because technically the top layer isn't being fed. I just have some stuff up here that I put in holding on to some moisture, which again, I'm still a little like, how is this so wet up here? Because in my opinion, I haven't had any food, so like, why is this so wet? I don't know, but I'm gonna just, for the sake of consistency, I'll poke around at it a little bit here. Actually, let me open. I don't really see a lot of activity, but I'm not terribly surprised since I don't actually put any actual food in here. That's fine. Okay, we'll take this off and we'll look at the next layer. Okay. So I'm really curious to see how this is going. Oh, interesting. I see some sprouts already. Okay. So the last update, I had thrown just some shredded cardboard and stuff that I had in here just because I was worried about the moisture levels of it being too wet. And oh, hey friend, where are you going? You're going the wrong way. I'm just gonna boop you back in there. Worried about the moisture levels a little bit in here because it was very wet. And it could have been just because of the food at the time that I was feeding it. I don't know, but I'm really glad that I got that crappy $40 shredder from Amazon so I can shred my Amazon boxes and really complete the cycle here. But if you guys have been watching the series, you know that we fed them down the middle last time for their first big mega feeding. They had started at this end and then they had been working their way this way. And the other day when I checked on them, there was just a little bit of food here. So I want to first off pull out these sprouts. Not that I don't want carrots to resprout, but all right, let's take a look-see in here and see what we got. So this end looks about what it did earlier. This crushed egg is still a crushed egg. There's still a little bit of peels here. Some of the bigger chunks of carrot, I'm fine with that being here. It's a big chunk. It's just a carrot that had just gone super wonky. Looks like there's some really tough peels. Oh, a big piece of the sweet potato maybe. Yeah, looks like a big piece of sweet potato. Okay, but plenty of guys here eating, but not a lot of food. All right, let's, oh, I should be pushing this side to side so I can make myself a little divot as we go. Because I think I'm going to feed them again today, but this, to me, looks a little wet. Like, it still looks a little wet, but I know not all of the cardboard is saturated yet either. So, I don't know, we'll see what the food pile looks like before I add more. Okay, good grip here. We'll start pulling away this section. Not seeing, oh, here's some food. Okay, here's some what? Carrots maybe. It looks like some carrot peels. All right, there's definitely some food here. Is there a lot of food? No, not a lot. I mean, like, I don't know that I can, like, peels are obvious. Like, this is carrot peels, sweet potato peels, maybe some shredded Brussels sprouts in there at the bottom, maybe. Yeah, it looks like a part of a Brussels sprout, but this is by no means, I think, enough food to sustain them for a while. So, I think in an effort to counter what I did wrong in my last bin is I want to keep giving them food. So, it's not rotting, but it's also enough that they're encouraged to reproduce. And it doesn't appear that the sweet potato and carrot shreds are molding. So I'm going to give them another quick feeding here. So this is a gallon baggie. Almost the same setup as last time. There's a lot more herbs in here, I think, this time. Less bananas, no watermelon. I put a few zucchini butts and ends that were either gross or fell or something. Have some Brussels sprout pieces, avocado peels. Looks like there's a mushroom or two here. I think I'm gonna try to shoot to put this whole bag in. I'm gonna see how it fits, but we'll see what it makes sense. This is a banana peel that was in the freezer. Yeah, let's see how this looks. All right. Should be fun to do one-handed. Actually, yeah, let's do this. Dug my trench, or maybe redug my trench. I think this is probably too much food, but like I said, I really want them to get used to eating more food, reproducing. So let's see if I can, if there's any chance that I can bury this. I really want to, because truthfully, a lot of this that looks like a lot is really just parsley that I used for my caterpillars, for my swallowtails that I was raising. So, not that it doesn't count, because it counts, but it's so awfully bulky because it's herbs, you know. But if I was to remove this layer, I don't know that there would be as much food in here. So, it's a lot of food, but it's also kind of not. So we'll use the parsley as a little bit of a cover. We have, oh yeah, we have this avocado that went terribly old by accident. Sorry, I hate wasting food, but yep, barely fits in there. Although I will say, for comparison purposes, I think this is probably a little bit more full than it has been in the past. But I think it's gonna, like most things, decompose and break down a little bit. But just as a safekeeping, because there is a lot of food in here, I'm gonna go ahead and I have some, well, this is some paper towel that I ripped up, but I'm gonna put that maybe along the edges a little bit. But I'm really loving using the shredded cardboard, the shredded, this particular half was the packing, those brown packing paper crumples that they put in stuff. I'm really liking mixing that in as bedding support. And also I want to keep the food as covered as possible. So I want to keep this pretty full. Not that I think they're going to go migrate up, because this is where the food's at, so they don't really have any need to migrate just yet. But I want to make sure that as the food breaks down, they have plenty of bedding. So is this too full? I don't know. This is my first time filling it this full, but I think as things break down, get wet, it will condense. I'm not super worried about it. And also, I'm curious if it'll help pull any of the moisture out of the top tier. But for now, this is the, I guess, the second major feeding we've done for this guy. It's been my hot frog. It's pretty much month 2. We just started month 2 now, or not, no, it hasn't even been 2 months. I'm really impressed with how much food these guys are eating, and overall, other than, you know, user error and having forgotten to close this up, it hasn't dripped again. This box doesn't smell, other than, you know, the existing mites that I have, like this little guy here, you can see them. No fruit flies, no nothing, no smells. I don't even think the dog notices that it's here anymore. It's pretty great. I'm really pleased with it. So we'll check in probably about a week this time and see how they are handling their food. If you guys want to learn more about the swallowtails that I'm raising, the monarchs that I'm raising, the garden, anything like that, I'm uploading videos here regularly, but also make sure you check out Instagram at Gardening with Alessandra, because I post a lot more regular updates and a little bit more of specific content, specific stuff on there. Plus, you get to see all the butterflies that I'm releasing every day. So if you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you check out our Fluffy Wally to see Wally, and Gardening with Alessandra to check out what's in the garden, and updates on this soon.